Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. I just finished Resident Evil 7, and I'm so excited to talk about it that I literally ran downstairs to record this video because I was like, oh my god, I need to talk about this. So this is going to be sort of a review slash my thoughts on the whole story. So this is going to be pretty spoilery. I'm just going to put that out here right now, so if you plan on playing the game or you are playing and you haven't beaten it yet, I would recommend that you do not continue further because I will be talking about the full story and what happens at the end and all of that stuff. So, giving you another second here to bail. Alright, don't say I didn't warn you. Literally just finished the game and was just overjoyed with feeling like Resident Evil has gone back to form. And I know that when the demo first came out for this, it was getting a lot of flack. There was a lot of fans who were like, Resident Evil has never been first person. This is not a Resident Evil. Resident Evil has never been not about zombies. This is not a Resident Evil. I say to those people, poo-poo, because I think that every genre, especially one that has been around as long as it has the opportunity to be rebooted and reimagined in some sort of way. And if you are going to stick so hard to the idea of what Resident Evil was in terms of zombies and like gameplay mechanics, then I don't know what to tell you. Then I guess don't play it. But I think if you don't play it, you're really missing out on something I think is fantastic. And I say this as a fan of this series. I played almost every single game. I have not played Code Veronica because that's just been a hard one for me to get my hands on. And I haven't played Revelations. Or Revelations 2. There was a 2, right? So other than that, I've played all the other ones, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and some of 6. And I'm missing some other outliers there. But yeah, I mean, I'm a really big fan of the games. I have Resident Evil 4 in like, I don't even know how many iterations. I bought it on GameCube, then I bought it on Wii, and then I bought it on Xbox Arcade, and then I bought it again on PlayStation 4. So you can imagine that it is like one of my all-time favorite Resident Evils. But I have also played the heck out of 2 in all sorts of ways possible. I've played the heck out of 1. I do need to play the most recent remaster of it. So I love these games. I've always loved the lore. I've loved the stories. I love, everything about it. I am not a fan of 5 and 6. I'm one of those people who really fell off the bandwagon there. While I think 4 can be argued is similar to 5 and 6, I think it walked this fine line between what came before and what came after, and I enjoyed it. I do think that it embraced some campy humor, but it did it in a really fun way that I think still embraced the charm of like 1 and the whole master of unlocking and all that other silly stuff. And Jill Sandwich, I think it was like really harkening back to those days and didn't seem totally out of place to me. And yeah, okay, Leon got actiony and maybe the laser grid scene is a little bit much, but I still think it's a really fun game. And 5 started to just get really weird to me. I feel like it started to really lose the horror and go all action, whereas like Resident Evil 4 still scares me. There are still points in that game that scare the crap out of me. 6, I honestly played a couple hours of and didn't bother. That's the honest opinion from me. So maybe that's unfair to totally give an opinion then on 6 and say that I don't like it, because I guess I didn't really give it a chance, but like it was so far gone from what I expect of a Resident Evil. So I just didn't feel like putting in the time to finish it. So when Resident Evil 7 was announced and I played the demo, I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a chance. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why you're in a house. I don't know why you're being chased down by this weird family. It seems very different from all the other Resident Evils, but I'm going to play it and give it a chance. And then I bought the game, and I'm so glad I did. Like, $60 well spent. It has the kind of intensity and anxiety-induced fear that I haven't had probably even since the first one. And to speak of the first one, it kind of reminds me of the first one a lot in that, Resident Evil 1 took place a great majority of it in the mansion. It's just moving around this singular mansion, backtracking when you found certain keys and were able to solve certain puzzles. And as you did that, you know, new enemies appearing in places you had already been before, which made it terrifying because you thought you were safe and you weren't. And this game is very similar. It really takes place in majority of it in a house and the surrounding area of the house. So there's a house, you go out to a backyard, there is a trailer, there is a garden in the back, there's like another weird dilapidated hut back there, but they're all on the same land, they're all connected, you backtrack through all of them. And it feels very similar to Resident Evil 1 in that most of the story, not all of it, but most of it takes place within this space that feels so interconnected and well thought out. And so I really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed that you don't know what the heck is going on for pretty much a good amount of this game. It flips itself on its head towards the end there. But personally, I wasn't picking up on a lot of stuff other than this little girl that they keep mentioning, that you don't actually see, but seems like she's kind of weird, but you aren't sure where that ties in because you're dealing with Jack, who is the father of the household, the mother, who's also crazy, the son, Lucas, and I don't know, this crazy old lady who just sits around there. It's really weird. Yeah, so you're kind of told certain things, but you don't really know. You're just going in after your wife, who you thought was missing and dead for 3 years, but you get a message from her, and so you go to this house, and it really unravels from there. And it's just, I don't know, man, it's so creepy. Like, I was playing and was literally saying out loud to my boyfriend, why am I doing this to myself? Why do I do this? Why do I like to scare myself? And he was just laughing at me. But super, super high tense. Great jump scares, but great creepy moments too that are more than just jump scares. And yeah, so as the story unfolds, you start to learn that the child has a lot more to do with this whole thing than originally thought. These people aren't just crazy cannibals. They have been affected by this child, who, as you start to learn, is a bioweapon. Haha! Oh, doesn't that sound familiar? Sounds a lot like, I don't know, every other Resident Evil when we're talking about Umbrella Corporation working on these bioweapons. And you start to learn that your wife has a little bit more to do with it than you knew, because she wasn't fully remembering everything. And you start to learn that she was one of the people who was protecting and transferring this bioweapon. Weird. So as you go through the whole story, you find the ship that she was transferred on, which is not too far from the Baker family's house. You start to pick up some files and start to learn about what happened, and that she has been influencing people and basically brainwashing them, and that she's brainwashed this family. And you start to realize that, you know, she's being tracked by this other entity, this other unit. I wonder who they could be. And then you finally do go after her. And here's even more spoilers. I mean, I'm already talking about everything anyway. But you go after her, you fight her, and at the end, in classic Resident Evil style, a helicopter comes by and throws you a weapon. But it's not a rocket launcher. It is a very powerful gun. And it's called the Albert O1, which is really interesting because, what is Albert? What is that from? Albert Wesker, maybe. And it looks a lot like Wesker's gun. If you were a big fan of the series, you might notice that it very much looks like his really powerful gun. So, that's a little weird, and you take her out, and the helicopter lands, and you see these guys in, you know, guns, full armor. One of them pulls off his helmet and says, "I'm Redfield." And that's when I went, what? Chris Redfield? But he never says his first name, which is very interesting. He helps your character out, you get on the helicopter, and yay you've survived. The helicopter, though, says Umbrella Corporation on it. And what's even more interesting is Umbrella Corporation's logo is red and white, right? Like, everyone knows that. That's the classic symbol. But for some reason here on this helicopter, it's blue. So I'm not sure where in the timeline everything sort of lies. It's definitely after Raccoon City. There's already been a lot of people who've looked at some of the items and the documents that pop up during the game that surmise that it's somewhere, I don't know, 17 to 19 years after Raccoon City. So this does take place after the fact, and we don't know if this is Chris. So in the credits, the voice actor is attributed as Chris Redfield, but I don't trust Capcom to not lie in the credits to, like, I don't know, cover something else up. I wouldn't put it past them. So, okay, let's assume it is Chris. Why is he in a umbrella helicopter with a weird logo, first of all? Did he hijack it? Is he pretending to be them to come in and, like, save the day? Who knows? Is it really Redfield? Is it someone else posing as him? Who knows? But you start to realize that there really is a connection to the originals. It just takes some time to realize, and I like that. I like that it isn't like, hey, it's connected, don't worry, like, you know, keep going, because, you know, it takes a while before you actually see the connection, and I was fine with that, like, because I was so interested in just the story setup of this crazy family that it really threw me for a loop when I realized that there was something else going on, because I did enjoy and was so caught up in just the whole family thing. When you start to realize, like, the monsters that do appear are a projection of this girl and have nothing to do otherwise with this family or anything. I think that the gameplay is fantastic. There are really good elements that remind me of Outlast, where you have characters that are sort of, I don't know, patrolling around an area that you have to try and avoid. But it's done very well, and the AI is very smart about it, and it's never too tough, but it's never too easy. One thing I did not like about the game was I feel like some of the boss fights, especially early on, there's a few times where you fight Jack, and it just felt like it threw the pacing off for me. I feel like a lot of the pacing is this, like, explorative, methodical, really creepy, oh my god, what's gonna happen, you know, at every turn sort of thing. And the boss fights seem to stop everything in its tracks and be a little annoying. At least the first two are. I feel like they get better as the game goes on. I have not been this excited about a Resident Evil game in quite a few years, and I just really feel like they have just gotten back to their roots. And even though there are some differences in terms of mechanics and point of view and all of that, I think that they have gotten back to the heart of being horror, survival horror, and moved back away from, you know, action-packed punching boulders. And I really, really, really love it. Like, I can't wait to restart the game and try it on a harder difficulty and check out all the DLC that's coming out. There's already some DLC that came out. There's going to be free DLC in the spring that looks like it's going to reveal more about Chris Redfield and his, you know, role in all of this. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's so refreshing, guys. It's been so refreshing to play this game. I feel like I've babbled in a whole bunch of different ways about it because I didn't really have, like, a planned review going on. So I've kind of jumped around in my thoughts. But I just really, really loved it. I really, really recommend it to anyone who's a fan of Resident Evil or a fan of true survival horror. You know, it's how it used to be. You've got limited health. You've got limited ammo. You need to make the most of it. And you need to be smart about what you're doing. And if that's the kind of thing that you really love, if you like really anxiety-inducing atmosphere and jump scares and interesting design and what I think is an interesting story, then I really think that you should play it. I 100% think it's worth a full $60, but hey, if you can get it on sale, even better. Yeah, it was just so good. It was just so, so good. I'm gonna, like, sit and think on it and, like, read forums about it for a while. It's like one of those games. Anyway, thanks for watching another video. I would love to hear your thoughts on Resident Evil 7. I assume that you've played and beaten it, or maybe you just don't even care and that's why you've watched this video, because you're just like, whatever, Resident Evil, I'm never gonna play it, so I'll listen to spoilers. But either way, I would love to know your thoughts on the game in the comments below. You can also subscribe if you want to see more content like this video if you like it. And yeah, have a great rest of the day and go play Resident Evil and scare yourself a little bit. It'll make you feel alive, you know? Really alive.